today on the Unsettled, we'll be discussing the case of what everyone calls Gone Girl Joan Risch. If that's her name, or Risch. Something like that. Ever heard of it? No.
Only
Good
when
stuff.
we've been discussing it.
Oh, okay. So basically, if you're new here, we discuss unsolved crimes. So if you want to like the video, subscribe, leave a comment below what cases you want us to cover. Basically talk about, because we're kind of like a detective agency at the moment. With people leaving comments saying, can you cover this case or this case? Like I said, I will leave a comment saying whether we've done the case or not. I did on someone's previous comment. Sorry, I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
But they asked about the Black Dahlia and John Benet Ramsey, which has already been covered in season 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, feel free to keep firing cases at us, and we'll add them into our little season 3.
Yep.
I guess that would be the word.
Our repertoire of cases that we've kind of stacked up ready for recording.
Yeah. So yeah, in today's one we're going to be discussing the Gone Girl Joan Risch and how she actually vanished.
Okay.
In perplexing circumstances.
Oh.
So, as I said, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll just get straight into it. So, Joan had a tragic childhood.
Okay.
Okay, we've both had parents. What's the nicest way to put it? They both perished in a fire.
Oh.
At their
So
home.
she was orphaned off quite early then.
I suppose so.
Roughly.
I mean, Joan, was out visiting her friends, and her family obviously had a fire at the home, so she lost, her mum and dad.
Oh.
Yeah. Following their death, she then lived with her foster family. A Boston Herald article from 1993 reported that Joan had been sexually molested by her foster father.
Oh. Oh dear.
It's up for grabs.
Mm.
Okay. Another thing, was kids back then really good looking? Because it seems to be that all these kids get molested very quickly.
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
You just stopping at that, you're like, don't want to know. But yeah, it seems that every case we seem to discover is kids back many years ago have been sexually assaulted. I'm just curious, were they good looking at that point?
Probably.
Just easy pickings.
Yeah, maybe
some handy.
Well, I suppose the system back then wasn't really as adept as it is now. They don't really do back history.
They don't have
back
social
then.
services on your case all the time.
No,
So
I would
yeah.
assume.
Obviously, she was molested by a foster father, and I don't know. I suppose the nicest way to put it was it didn't really air out until later on.
So
Okay.
it's going on for a while.
Yeah, and another thing, I had a bowl haircut when I was a kid. No one was gonna fuck me.
I had curtains. That's worse than a bowl cut.
You win. So, in 1954, Joan met her future husband, Martin. They both were Brooklyn born,
Okay.
so they had like something.
They
in
had,
common.
yeah.
They hit it off at a Harvard football game.
Ew, Harvard. Ew.
Joan left her career as an editorial assistant at a publishing company in New York to settle down and start a family with Martin. Straightforward.
Fair enough.
Nothing weird about that. She became a mother. A housewife. Yeah. So they both had 2 children, Lillian and David, before moving to a modern home on Old Bedford Road in Lincoln.
Nice area.
Apparently it's a really posh area. So, like I said, Joan was a housewife, while Martin was a paper company executive type businessman.
Oh.
So he was
So
quite
he
well
was-
off.
yeah.
Yeah. So her foster mother describes them both as happy. They had a beautiful home, lovely, healthy children, and they were both perfect companions for each other. Nothing seemed out of place.
No.
So they were both quite similar, got on well, had a lovely family, kids, etc.
The perfect ending kind of thing.
Kinda. So on October the 24th, 1961, Martin went out of town on a business trip to New York, leaving Joan at home with the children. Joan took 4-year-old Lillian to the dentist, paying for all her family's dental care as well. So she was quite well off. So she paid for like her sister's dental care, her mother's dental, or stepmother, or foster mother, you know, all this, that, and the other. And like I said, her stepsisters, she used to pay for their dental care as well. So it seemed like she was quite a caring person.
Yeah.
Right.
With dental hygiene.
Yes. But she obviously had money to help out. So,
yeah.
So when they came home, she put the 2-year-old David to bed. Then Jones sent Lillian over to the Baker's house to play. The Bakers had a boy the same age. But what was Joan up to? That's the question. So, the homes on Bedford Road were spacious and set back and often accompanied with lots of trees and stuff. So you had the ultimate privacy.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, yeah? Right. Now what took place next is covered in mystery and conspiracy.
Okay.
Okay. So at around 4:15 p.m. that afternoon, Lillian arrived back a few moments later. She ran back to the Baker's house. So she arrived home and then ran back to the Baker's house. Right? Where Miss Baker asked what was wrong. Lillian shouted that her mother disappeared and red paint was all over the kitchen floor.
Oh.
Okay. Miss Baker / Barbara walked back with Lillian and was met by a particular shocking scene. Right. What Lillian said was paint was in fact blood. Obviously. It's bound to be.
Yeah.
Right. The walls were splattered with spots of blood and a tiny puddle on the floor. Okay. The blood led to David's nursery where David remained untouched.
Okay.
But there was no sign of Joan.
Weird.
Right. The blood trail led outside to the car, then the trunk. There was a handprint.
Oh dear.
Okay. Investigators noted it seems some of the blood had been wiped or cleaned up. Thoughts so far?
A home invasion gone wrong.
Possibly.
So far.
Possibly. The phone inside had been ripped off the wall and tossed into the wastebasket, while a phone book sat nearby, opened on a page of... Come on, anything?
Cleaners?
Emergency numbers.
Oh.
Damn it! I thought you would add something. Yet no phone calls had been made despite the book being open on emergency numbers. Okay. So investigators believe that the blood came from a small wound. Yeah. On the wall beside the phone, investigators found an unidentified bloody thumbprint, which wasn't Jones.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Over the forthcoming years, over 5,000 people would be fingerprinted in an attempt to find the match to no avail. Right.
That age-old thing that a killer would always return to the scene.
Yeah. So nothing was really out of place apart from the phone.
Yeah.
Until you looked a bit closer. So there was no robbery.
Okay.
Right. After spots of blood and the tipped-over table, the house was actually more or less spotless.
So it was localised in one
room. The kitchen, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It happened all in the kitchen. So there was no violent struggle was apparent.
Okay.
The theory from investigators was Joan had been abducted. However, eyewitnesses' statements have always complicated that theory.
Yeah, I would assume that there was no traffic outside kind of thing.
So Barbara Baker told the police she saw Jean walking / running with her arms outstretched towards her car on the driveway around 2:15 p.m. She appeared to be carrying something red in one hand. From that, she turned back and walked back into the house.
Okay.
So her neighbour saw her, looked like she was running or walking or sprinting towards the car, carrying something red in her hand, but then she walked back into the house. Another neighbour told police they saw a grey Oldsmobile sedan parked behind Joan's car at 3:20 p.m. Okay. So, news on Joan's disappearance spread through Lincoln. Police began receiving tips from many who believed they had seen Joan.
Right.
Okay, how do you feel so far?
Very confused.
Okay. Motorists reported seeing a woman matching Joan's description walking along Route 128.
I bet they did.
128, situated nearby, was the Cambridge Reservoir. Police put time into the search. They checked the water religiously and the reservoir, but no clues at all.
Standard.
Yeah. Okay.
But they've got to be seen to investigate all.
Yeah, but the thing is, they had so many people call up saying they saw a woman that looked like her.
There was always that
Right.
helpful deed.
Another report at 2:15 p.m. A caller said they saw Joan walking alongside the route 2A, 200 yards from her home, wearing a loose-fitting grey coat to her knees, a handkerchief tied around her chin, possibly hiding her face, shuffling hunched like she was cold.
Okay.
Yeah? Shortly after that call, another came in. While matching the first description, they added she had blood running down her legs, walking on Route 128, and appeared rather daisy, plodding, mumbling, head down.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Maybe she got away?
In all sightings, right, all clothing matched and same mannerisms. So it seemed like a lot of people
With
had
the
seen
head
her.
down,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Could this have been Joan, who left David at home a toddler? Not even that at best. So why would you leave a 2-year-old?
I don't even think she would, to be fair. It
Okay.
was her own choice.
Okay. Investigators searched for this woman intensively everywhere. She was gone. There was no sign of her. She simply just vanished. Right. The case took an obscure twist when investigators discovered she had checked out numerous library books before her disappearance. Every book was
Here we go.
Every book was about murder and disappearances. She could have just been a fanatic.
Yeah.
Maybe. Right.
Yeah. No.
Had she planned the perfect or near perfect disappearance of herself?
Yes, maybe. But then she's got to have something to leave for.
Possibly. We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
So, 3 books caught investigators' eye. The Hunt for Richard Thorpe, a schoolboy who disappeared on purpose. That was the narrative of the book, right? Death of Heart, about an orphan, which is similar to her.
Okay.
Right. Who also vanished. A book parallel to the crime scene at Joan's household. So basically the kitchen, right?
Right.
However, all was into, I guess, air about a woman. How can I put it? It was into a woman. Was into air. How can I word this so it makes sense? Okay, so it was basically about a disappearance of an orphan who planted her own blood to make it look like she'd been attacked. But she vanished. Very, like I said, parallel to how the kitchen was.
How it was.
Yeah. So she could have just cut herself, put blood in places to make it look like the crime scene
Like
was
a
happening.
smudged fingerprint.
Yeah. You get the idea.
Blood on the floor.
Right.
She set up her own scene to vanish.
Yeah. These discoveries sent the rumour mill wild. Many people assumed Joan was bored of her mortal life as a housewife,
day-to-day life,
and planned her own disappearance.
Yeah,
right.
I suppose you don't really know what's going through someone's head.
That's true. You could get
from the outside, they look like the pristine
perfect
suburban family, but you don't know what's going on.
She could have been really miserable,
and
she has read these books and thought, fuck it, I'll do it this way.
Yeah.
But giving up 2 kids.
It's an easy up. Yeah, but that's what the bin and.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Others state Joan may have been into the murder/disappearance kink, hence the books, and maybe fantasised about it with her friend, which she may have fallen for, being a bored housewife. Right.
I don't think so, though.
Right. Of course, Joan could have, possibly been a victim of a real disappearance, and yet her body is unfound.
Mm.
Right. Friends and family stated Joan was a devoted mother and wife and wouldn't have abandoned them. Like what you were about to say, you don't give up two
you
kids.
don't give up 2 kids.
Right.
Like, she's an orphan herself, you know what I mean? You don't purposely...
Do you want another bit of information?
Okay.
Martin, her husband, held hope she may someday come home. If she was attacked, suffered a hit to the head and escaped,
Concussion.
didn't know where she was, didn't remember her
Confused,
name.
dazed, don't know where...
Reports stated she was seen, reports stated she was seen. He held hope she'd remember who she was if she suffered amnesia or something. Martin never remarried, didn't change the home number, didn't move, and despite prank calls, he kept it all the same in case she ever rang. So he never married him.
Dedication.
Yeah, he never, right?
Mm.
Martin died in 2009, not knowing anything else like we do about what happened to his wife Joan.
Oh.
Right. More theories stated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Joan could have ran away with a secret lover. The car that parked behind Joan's was seen every so often before her disappearance, more often than not when Martin wasn't there. Was she bored of the married life, perhaps?
I know we don't really like coincidences, but...
The car was there. Yeah, right. Another theory, she'd suffered a miscarriage Martin had no idea about.
Ooh.
Right. Was she pregnant or not? An attempt to clean up the spots of blood loss, shock, confusion led her to run away. She couldn't face the facts that she had possibly cheated on Martin,
Or
became pregnant and suffered a miscarriage.
No,
That car, bloody hand,
yeah,
blood on her legs.
Yeah,
Right.
No,
Anyway.
I can see that. The confusion of her being seen wandering around.
Yeah, hiding her face,
Yeah,
not wanting anyone to see her. Possible, right.
possible.
So she could have possibly hidden a pregnancy. Maybe the other car was the local doctor to get rid of a secret pregnancy. Maybe she had given birth.
They can do that.
Yeah. Maybe she'd given birth. Maybe that's what she was holding, which was red in her hand.
Bloody in her hand.
So it's possibly like a failed abortion. Because back then it would be frowned upon.
It would be frowned
Right.
upon for that.
Was she just a naughty housewife? The milkman allegedly had seen the car there days before she disappeared.
But
So
then
was it
that
a
could be
doctor?
house visit. It could be a house
doctor.
visit.
Could be a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Joan invited a guest over. I believe, this is what someone put, I believe an alcohol bottle was found in the home. Martin said Joan drank that form of wine as such, but beer cans was also found that day, which Martin had no idea who they belonged to. Right.
Maybe.
Like I said, maybe an illegal abortion. Maybe.
Yeah.
And she needed that much alcohol to get her through it.
Yeah. No,
Maybe.
yeah.
So it wasn't technically legal to get an abortion back then, I don't think. I think it was like illegal or such to get an abortion. Leave a comment. Or maybe this guest forced himself on her and she perhaps was manhandled and thus resulting in a miscarriage by the same man.
Yeah.
So she could have been
Like
pregnant with this
blackmail,
man.
maybe.
Yeah, she could have been pregnant with this man,
Yeah.
and he manhandled her or told her she had to get rid of it, so he attacked her, and therefore she ran and didn't want to face her husband to say, look, this is what happened. Yeah? Maybe she was still being sexually abused, she did keep in contact with her foster parents.
Okay.
Both of them. Because her foster father didn't get found out till it was later, 1993.
Okay. Oh, right.
Yeah.
So it's well later.
Yeah. Her foster father knew her husband wasn't home, perhaps took advantage, killed her, then hid the body.
It's a possibility. Like, you know.
It's all up in the air, to be honest.
It is.
So she could have had a miscarriage. She could have been cheating on her husband and had an illegal abortion, it would make sense.
It would make sense.
But no one knows. She's never been found. No body's ever been found. Hence the title, Gone Girl. She just vanished. So did she actually...
A perfect murder.
If it was a murder.
If it was a murder.
Or did she read enough of these books to go, actually I'm going to marry my secret lover because I'm pregnant? Or she gave birth to her child then, like this child that maybe she kept secret, and her partner that she cheated on pulled up and they drove away, never to be seen again.
You would expect Martin would.
Depends how busy he is.
She was pregnant. I don't know. So many. The thing is, there's so many possibilities and plausibilities that it could be any one of them. It could be a number of them. It could be none of them. We just. I hate it when you do that. It could be none of them.
So what do you guys think? Do you think that Joan had an illegal abortion? Do you think her foster father came home, attacked her, realised she was pregnant? Martin, in fact, said he doesn't think she's pregnant.
Well,
He had
so
no idea.
Yeah, so that would it would explain him obviously working so much, or
Yeah.
but you would still
was she
I would assume
I don't know.
that
I don't know how you could. I mean, she could have just been carrying for maybe like 2 months. It's not really visible.
true,
Had a mini abortion,
as you say,
had a miscarriage,
could be the miscarriage.
and then she just left knowing that her life was going to be ruined if he found out. So she just left. The other theory is Barbara Baker.
Oh, God.
So
Okay.
allegedly she was the last person to see Joan alive. A lot of people suggest that she went over and killed her and disposed of the body.
The perfect suburban murder.
Yeah. A lot of people said that she was jealous of her. And knowing that her kid's upstairs and her daughter is over playing with her kid, she could have attacked her and then ran back in, or... There's a good thought process.
As I said, there's a lot of
That's
plausibilities.
why I went with it.
possibilities.
That's why I went with it.
I hate you.
Just so people can drop a comment below and let us know your
Yeah,
thoughts
like
and opinions.
leave a comment below. Like
He doesn't like it, so
I did.
you're going to love the next one.
I'm sure I will.
So yeah, don't forget to subscribe, drop a comment below, let us know your thoughts, opinions. What actually happened to Joan Risch? Or Risch? I have no idea. These were some of my thoughts, some of the internet's thoughts. A lot of people actually suggested it could have been the Bakers killed her off due to jealousy.
We will.
That one
know.
people lean towards because obviously she was the last one to see her, allegedly. But then who did the beer cans belong to? Who was in that grey car?
Maybe Mrs. Baker's other half.
Only the milkman that's in that car.
Exactly. Bet the milkman has seen a lot in that neighbourhood.
Obviously. If the milkman appears at the window, he sees one toilet flying. So yeah, leave a comment below and we'll see you in the next one.
See you then.